In today's video we are going to do a quick unboxing setup and go through my first impressions about the new MOZA multifunctional STALKS. So, without wasting any time, let's briefly cover what's in the box. As usually, MOZA includes all sorts of cables, tools, bolts and an extension rod to ensure its compatibility with the rest of their ecosystem. For instance, you actually have two ways of installing the STALKS. This is why you'll see multiple objects we won't actually use today, but might come useful with a different setup. When it comes to the STALKS themselves, right off the bat I can already feel they are pretty light, as well as very solid, which is always the case with MOZA products. As far as functionality goes, on the upper left stalk we have everything involving lights, starting with turn signal indicators which have a top position as well as a full activation position. The second step, or the full activation position, also has an automatic cancelling mechanism allowing for turn signal deactivation while returning the steering wheel back to the center. In addition, it has parking lights, low beam, high beam, light flash and fog light switch. On the lower left stalk it has everything cruise control related, with activation, set, resume, plus, minus and etc. It basically has more functions than ETS2 will allow on their ancient key binding system, but we'll cover that later. On the right stalk you can find all the wiper functions with different steps and positions. I personally use it as gear selector for the automatic transmission as for now. When it comes to installing them, the process is very easy. First thing to do is to install the extension rod, then place these small spacers onto the wheelbase, but screw them 2x2 so you'll make actual bigger stud spacers. Initially I installed them using just one spacer, but it's not enough for the turn signal mechanism to work, so remember, two stud spacers, one on top of another. Once the spacers are installed, detach the magnetic plate from the stock column, place it accordingly over the studs, screw the bolts, reattach the magnetic plate, connect the USB cable, and the last step of course, install the steering wheel. And that's it. On the software side, you don't have to do anything special, it basically is plug and play. You just need to select it in the controllers tab in Euro Truck Simulator 2 and bind the keys accordingly. I will do a separate video on how to bind STALKS in ETS2 because for now ETS2 key binding system is only based on buttons, so it does not support, for example, turn signal left, turn signal right and, very important, turn signal off position. In result, you have to find some workarounds for turn signal indicators because of this binding system. Good news is that I have already found a temporary solution and it works in most of the cases. I will give you more details in the separate video. As for the conclusions, this was the last missing piece from my setup. It makes the whole experience so much better that you won't be able to get back to a stockless setup, at least when it comes to truck simming. As I said, I will make a detailed binding video for these STALKS. If you're from the future, it will be available on the screen, but for now, check out the MOZA TSW unboxing and review videos, links in the description.